Hello, and welcome back to my Dungeon of Doom, my dirty basement, okay? It's still my dirty basement, but come on, let me have a little fun, okay? Now, today, we're talking about the graphic novel Gnome from Dave Dwonch. Now, for those of you familiar with Dave Dwonch, you'll remember him from Special Education, a book that I very much enjoyed and held dear to my heart. For those of you familiar with that book, you might be kind of surprised to find out that Gnome is actually family friendly. There's no gay jokes or, anything like that. There's still jokes. It's still funny. There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor. But it's very family friendly. Now, set in 1957, this is the story of Andy, a slacker type guy, just kind of wants a normal life. And he ends up inheriting a house from his Uncle Lewis after Lewis mysteriously disappears. What he doesn't know is that Lewis was an arch wizard, and he had opened this portal and almost unleashed a demonic beast into the world. Now, this beast is going to come into the real world unless Andy can stop it, which Andy really doesn't want to do. I mean, who can blame him? I barely want to put on pants in the morning, much less have to fight off an evil demonic beast. But to help Andy out comes the gnome, thus the title of the book. That way it makes more sense. It's not just slacker guy in the 50s. There is a gnome. And as it turns out, the gnomes used to be great warriors of the planet Earth, but they were betrayed and turned into the little statues that we all know and love, and some of us desperately, desperately fear. Now, I don't want to give away the entire story, but let it be known that there is a lot that happens in this book. He's only got about 60-some pages to work with here to tell his story, and yet Dave Dwonch somehow manages to put what feels like a giant, epic story in those pages. For $6.99, there's a lot of story that you really can't complain about. Now, the artwork, on the other hand, is something completely new and different. Dave Dwonch has a almost cartoony type style that he uses, but in this book he uses photographic backgrounds that he's run through a process where it looks like they've been Xeroxed 900 times, and that his characters are on top. It really adds that real world feel that these characters are living in. It really kind of adds to that atmosphere of the small town in the 50s, because you actually see what looks like a real small town in the 50s that these characters are interacting in. Now, like I said, the story it really sounds more like your basic sci-fi type stuff. You've got the reluctant hero, he's got a girlfriend, Maribel, that he's trying to score with. You've got the old gnome coming back, this ancient race there to help him fight off this evil. None of it really sounds that original, but the fact is, it's the storytelling that really sells it. Dave is able to make these characters seem entirely real and logical, even when the funny stuff is kind of happening around them. All these convenient little things keep happening. They kind of realize that, and they play along. And that's what makes it so much fun. It's the characters and the storytelling that really adds something special here. And that's why I'm saying that Gnome is fantastic. It gets the George C. Scott seal of approval. Double thumbs up, double barrels, shotgun, 5 stars, A+ out of 10. I'm going to bed. One other note. The cover is actually done by a guy named Super Ugly. What are you going to do? You're born an ugly baby, your mama names you Super Ugly, you're not going to be a male model. But you keep turning out covers like this, you may be okay in life.